Oh, yeah, we have gas and electric both.
Y'all ready?
Diesel, well, not really, but go ahead.
Diesel?
Y'all ready?
Yeah, we're good.
We call this April 20, oh goodness, I put April 27th, May 12th,
Are you ready?
May 11th.
You're still a day ahead now.
I got the wrong one out in front. I was like, hey. No, I have it. I have a packet, I just had the
unprepared.
wrong one. May 11th, 2020, meeting to order.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Okay. Approval of minutes. May I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve? Second.
Miller,
Yeah.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, first order of business ordinance by two readings by title only and passage, bill number 2020-22, an ordinance amending chapter 38, article 10, schedules 2, 3, 4, and 18 of the traffic and vehicle schedule of the Mexico City Code. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, Your Honor. The staff has been working on the discrepancies that we have versus the schedules versus what's actually on the street and making sure everything's coordinated together. And so that's what this is working on. To cover the details, we will turn to Drew Wolfer, our staff engineer.
Good evening, council. Bruce already mentioned the idea that this is somewhat of a data cleanup phase. We're doing this in conjunction with our GIS sign database and working with Street Division to process anything that's somewhat out of whack between what is actually posted in the field and what is actually in our traffic schedule. So we're trying to bring those in line with one another. I'd like to call your attention in essence to that part, but also to the part that includes new posting for no parking in the YMCA lot. That would be on the east side in front of the building. That is included in this section, and it's part of a request that we received. They're having some issues with vehicles parking in front of the building instead of in the actual parking spaces, so they requested some signs be placed out along that east side of the lot, and that should avoid any kind of issues with pedestrians walking out in between vehicles, which can be a cause of concern.
Is
So-
that their
Okay.
property or is that city property?
It's actually city property. The lot is the city, so that'd be between the pool and then the YMCA.
So the city owns a lot.
That is correct. And the property under the YMCA.
Okay, all right.
So what we're looking at is amending the traffic schedules, and I will call out an item here that I just realized tonight, and I apologize. This does cover schedules 2, 3, 4, and 18, but also 13. For some odd reason, I did not put that on there, so that should be noted. So we would request the council proceed with reading by title only and passage of the attached ordinance. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
One comment. I've had several people ask about a crosswalk at the Laura George Miller Food Bank because the people are zooming up the streets. You might look at that.
Okay, absolutely.
Slow sign, yield sign, crosswalk sign right there.
And we have looked at that already, and it was pretty much determined it wasn't needed there, but we'll look at it again.
Sure. Well, I'm just saying, suggesting we check it out.
So that was a Laura Jordan Food Bank, is that correct?
Yeah, the health center area.
George Miller.
Oh, Help Center.
Yeah.
I apologize. Yes.
I make a motion to read bill number 2020-22.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes. Bill number 2020-22, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 2, Schedule 3, Schedule 4, and Schedule 18 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. Move for second reading on bill number 2020-22.
Second.
Did we need 13 in there too?
Do we need to add?
Yes, we need to make an amendment and add in Schedule 13 in the title because it does address it in your ordinance.
So do I need to move an amendment first?
No, you put the motion on, then you add the
We would
amendment.
need to amend it to include Schedule 13.
Don't you do the amendment, and don't you make the motion and then do the amendment?
Then vote on the amendment and then go back to the reading, yeah.
I make a motion to amend bill number 2020-22 to include Schedule 13.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers, Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes. Bill number 2020-22, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 2, Schedule 3, Schedule 4, and Schedule 18 and Schedule 13 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for passage of Bill number 2020-22.
Second.
Second.
Do you have to do the second reading again?
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Did we technically do second reading?
I didn't do the second reading. That's, I will take that motion as a second reading.
Do we need to go back and take back the first vote?
No, you did not.
Okay, all right.
No, we're okay with that. Actually, that should have been for second reading, and then we'll have to find, now we can do approval.
Now
Passage.
move for do I need to read it again?
You just need to move for passage.
I move for passage of Bill number 2020-22.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, now for our resolution, Bill number 2020-23, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Audrain County Historical Society to assist in providing services to citizens. Mr. Slagle?
Yes, this is our annual contract with the Audrain County Historical Society. Cover the details. We'll turn to Roger Hayes.
Good evening, Council. The attached resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Audrain County Historical Society to assist in providing services to citizens. The current budget allows for the City of Mexico to contribute to the Audrain County Historical Society the sum of $4,900 for the use in providing programs and activities to our citizens. The city has provided assistance to the Audrain County Historical Society since 2000. Staff recommends that the City of Mexico and Audrain County Historical Society enter into an agreement and that council proceed with reading by title and passage of the attached resolution. And the Executive Director, Lori Pratt of the ACHS, has provided to council a 1 1/3 page narrative of programs they provided last year, and then also made note that it's their intent to have the walk back in time this fall, given that we don't have any issues continuing with COVID-19.
I move for reading of Bill 2020-23.
Second. What do you say?
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Bill number 2020-23, resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Audrain County Historical Society to assist in providing services to the citizens. I move for passage of Bill 2020-23.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers, Williams.
Yes.
Okay, other business.
Make a motion to pay the bills?
What, we're not there yet. Hold up.
there was
Motion
some
to
in there,
hold the
business.
second regular meeting of the month on Tuesday, May 26, 2020, due to the Memorial Day holiday. Monday, the
I
28th.
move we move the regular meeting to Tuesday, the 26th.
Second.
Same time?
Same time, 6 o'clock.
Second. Did you have a second?
Nichols,
Okay.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Now, we can.
Now I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Miller,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Okay, now for comments by the council, Ms. Briggs.
Well, you picked me to go first again.
Yes.
Yeah, I do have a comment to make. And it's because of something that occurred with our last council meeting. After our meeting 2 weeks ago, I received some angry phone calls asking about whether we were going to take over the ambulance district or not. And that came out of an item that was put on the agenda. And what I was thinking was that I think that maybe we need to address how council members are putting items on the agenda. There doesn't seem to be a policy that deals with that. And I would recommend, or I would request, maybe it'd be a better way to say that we take that to that particular item and study it to, in a work session. I think if items go under the business agenda in city council meetings, and then there's no information provided to other council members, and we're kind of left in the dark a little bit about that particular item. I think we need to look at that, and I think we need to maybe look at that policy or maybe make a policy, and I would suggest we probably take that item to work study. That's just my opinion.
Well, that would be me. That would be my request. And you can change it if we change our system of government. The current system that we run on is not electing a mayor, and so it is any councilman's right, or mayor, or pro tem, to add whatever they wish to an agenda. That's the state law. If you wish to change to a mayor-elected government, then that policy does change. So if you'd like to have a work session about maybe doing that, then that would be, I think a lot of people in town it's probably half and half. A lot of people don't even realize we don't elect a mayor, to be honest. Because when I was elected, when I took on the mayor, most people thought I was the mayor because I beat the mayor. But that's not the government we run. I don't know how they got anything out of the ambulance district out of that, but...
I still think we need to look at it. We have no policy at all for establishing an agenda or maintaining the integrity of our agenda.
Well, I understand that.
And Chris, as long as you brought yourself up about it, you brought a controversial item to the agenda.
Okay.
You brought
Chris?
a controversial item to the agenda.
Ms.
And then,
Briggs,
I'm sorry.
I think Crystal had the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry.
it's fine. I understand it. It's a controversial item. I will say I tried to, I don't want to go into all the details, but it wasn't just me being willy-nilly. I know that's how it came out. I asked for some information. I was told certain information. Then it turned out that was not the information. The policy changed, and I was not re-informed the policy changed. We got a paper that said what we would do, but it was not clear that we were not going to respond. It wasn't. So then I went and looked at it elsewhere, and then we got a policy update. That's just what happened. Now, after that happened, I've talked to other people, and I will say that I was unaware that our public safety did not have medical training. I assumed we did because we always go.
Yeah.
First responder, we go.
Okay.
That's
Well, we
just what
covered
do.
that, I think, last
Yeah.
week, so.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm sorry. It ended up, and at the end of the day, I will say, it was just a lack of communication. However that happened. And I didn't mean to be angry or call people out on it, but I do, I do think, knowing what I know now, that we probably do need to make a decision. And I talked to past people, and we used to not do this at all. We used to not do first responder at all. And so maybe that's what we go to, because you said something about there's a legal liability involved in it, so.
Well, I think it's one thing that we can possibly take to a work session. I think what Ms. Briggs has said about this entire session is something I think we do need to discuss, and I think it's even something that we can discuss, even our policy. I don't think we're trying to change how things are brought, but just saying, making sure that everyone needs to have some knowledge going into it, so we can
agree.
have intelligent conversations about it
I
on
agree.
all fronts.
I agree. So I apologize if I made anybody mad. It was not my intention. I was just trying to get the information that I wanted and trying to get the information that it just wasn't flowed to me the way I wish it would have been flowed to me. And so I'm sorry if people thought that had anything to do with the ambulance district. It has nothing to do with the ambulance district. I don't know how anybody got that out of anything I said. So, so I agree with you. So I apologize if that.
Well,
said
that
some
being
people-
said, I still think we probably need to look at something about establishing a policy about establishing, maintaining the integrity of our agenda. So that
I would welcome that policy because it would require electing a mayor. So I will say that I'm not against that. So
Okay.
that being said,
Okay.
I'll move on. Speaking of public safety, I just want to say thank you to all the public safety officers. You guys have been. You've had to deal with things you've never thought you'd have to deal with the past few weeks. I know there's been plenty of calls from businesses for police to come down there and deal with rowdy customers that do not like the COVID rules. I've heard that they have been polite and maintained their integrity and dealt with the issues appropriately. So I appreciate that, and I know it's a struggle for a lot of people in the community. It's a different world we live in. And just I hope that everybody listening will just practice some patience. And nobody's trying to get one up on anybody here. We're just trying to do what the health people tell us to do. And that would be it. So thanks. Tell them thanks. Because I know like they had a big incident at Aldi's. I think it was Saturday. So I was like, oh, good grief. So thank you.
Do you have anything, Mr. Nichols?
I do. I wasn't, but now I do. What we hashed around the last 2 weeks ago, the meeting, it came up. A lot of tempers were heated over it, and I thought we was over with it. But any attempt to, all your city council elected officials, any attempt to censor any of them, I would go, that's not American, period. Anyway, on a lighter note, Chief, you've been doing a great job. That's nothing new. I mean, every time I say something about you, it's always on the positive. I don't know if I can say this or not, but I randomly stopped 2 people on the street to ask them their opinion of the mayor, if they vote for it, and they both said yes. Then I found out it was their mom and dad.
They said they would vote? All right.
They did. You got, yeah, okay, it's all yours.
Mr. Miller?
Well, I think we'd be just dead horse to death. I'm just going to ride off in the sunset. Nothing to say.
Well, there's a couple of things I want to say. First of all, I think last week, I get all confused with all the weeks that we get to celebrate people who are doing great jobs. And last week was teachers and nurses, and we weren't meeting, so we didn't get to acknowledge them. I believe I've mentioned it to Chief Rocket, and I've heard some other councilmen. This is National Police Week, I believe, and so we definitely want to commend you for all that you all do to keep us safe and healthy and all the other things that you're doing just to help run, and we appreciate your sacrifices. I don't think anyone here was trying to censor anyone from being able to say anything. I think that was mishearing, I think, what Ms. Briggs was trying to say in that avenue, is just trying to think of how can we make sure we come with some knowledge at times. And we do always have this open forum here as well, but just about the integrity of the agenda. So far, it's good seeing everything slowly but surely opening up in Mexico. I think, for the most part, things are going well. And like we said, we have a long way to go, and just continuing to advocate for people doing the social distancing, using good hygiene and washing and sanitizing their hands and everything else. And I think Councilman Williams mentioned on it, just people being polite. I think everyone is a little antsy, or some people are more scared, others are not, but we just have to respect each other. And I think if we do this, we will make it through this together. So that's all I have to say. And I forgot, Mr. Slagle.
I'm actually going to have Chad talk about a couple of things relative to the pool, so that we're making sure that we're all on the same page on this issue as we move forward.
So, as we've discussed previously, opening the pool this year presents some unusual and significant challenges according to the current science as to what we need to do to provide safe places for people to recreate. At this point, we've got a pretty good idea what's happening in North Missouri and Central Missouri, which is markedly different than what's happening in the suburban ends of the state as far as pools. The vast majority of the pools in our region of the state are either going to stay closed or they're going to open late. June 1st is pretty much the date that is the line in the sand for the ones that are going to open. And if you want more detail on why people are and aren't in the different areas, I can give you more detail on that. But that really doesn't apply to Mexico, a lot of what happens in the suburban world. So our recommendation at this point is going to be that we don't open the pool this year, because if we open to June 1st, we have a contract to start construction in the end of the first week of July. Summer school is not going to be open, and a large amount of our concessions income comes from that large influx of students coming every day for summer school in the month of June. So the long and the short is that it may be a pretty big investment for a pretty small return as far as how many people actually get to use that investment. The other side of this is also we wanted to come talk to you one last time to make sure we had consensus with the council, because we don't need a motion or a vote or anything. We just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, that we all think that that's the prudent thing to do this year. So if nobody speaks up and says, Chad, you're an idiot, do otherwise right now, we're going to take that as a claim from the council. The other side of this is what happens after the June 2nd vote. As you're brutally aware, as are we, that June 2nd use tax vote is still coming up. We have two contract positions. One, to build a $3.5 million aquatic facility with pool and splash grounds, if it passes. And the other contract position is to build, if you'll recall, a splash ground if the contract passes. We are so far behind the model aquatic code at this point, and with beginning to lose more water again at the end of last season, we put Band-Aids on this thing in 2007, and we did that again in 2013, and at this point we're really throwing good money after bad. So it would also be, after a lot of discussion that we've had, that the reality is that old pool is probably not going to reopen after this vote. And I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page with that also. That doesn't mean we'll never have a pool, but it means if the vote doesn't pass and we do the splash ground, we're going to have to find some other source of funding before we can go ahead and build pool next to splash ground. We have the money right now to build splash ground. Then we would have to look at how we do that, be it public-private partnership or what we do to make that happen in the future. But at that point, it would be a new project. Is that fair, Bruce?
Thank you, Chairman.
Is that?
Yeah, perfect. In my view, I don't see that this virus thing is going away too soon either.
No.
What they say.
My degrees are in biology and forestry. I have a real hard time seeing this not being around all summer.
I'm going to add something on. We were talking about the use tax, and we had a conversation this weekend. I think more than ever, it's probably imperative that the citizens know how important the use tax is, not just for the pool, but I think going forward, when you talk about this virus, I mean, I can't imagine retail sales, when you get the tax numbers, I mean, they've got to be going down. And a lot of people I've talked to that weren't really big online shoppers, including myself, I've spent way more money than I've ever spent online now, because stores aren't open. Either they're not open, or you don't want to go, or so if we don't have a use tax, not just for the pool but beyond that, I think the city could be in for some hurtful times going forward.
Right. Well, and obviously I'm concerned that the parks are supportive of the sales tax that's local. So if people are ordering online, our support will eventually erode. So from that position, I'm really not anxious whatsoever to go out and try to build a facility that I can't say this is where the money's coming from right now, because I would expect our tax revenues to be declining in the future.
When do you think we'll get our numbers that kind of cover this beginning phase?
We really won't see those as far as how it affects the full kind of month of where we're at until early next month.
Every time I turn around, they got a fair or something, so not gonna have it this year. So,
Lots of events that usually would be here.
It's kind of like the reporting's almost like 2 months behind, really, where we're
That's,
at.
I knew it was behind, I just didn't know how far behind it was.
Yes, so I guess all of us need to, and I know I've been doing it, talking to random people about the use tax and, really getting people out to vote for it come June 2nd. So, that's it. We have a motion.
Second.
Miller?
Yes.
Nichols?
yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Shivers?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.